Okay, the other day a viewer asked me if I could make a ribbon like this one. And thanks for the request. Let's get started. First, I want to import the reference image, pressing Ctrl Shift O. Look for the image and import it. Press M and let's lower the opacity, something like 0.5 maybe. Yeah, that's okay. I press OK, G, Z, bring it down. Let's look from the top view and lock the image so it doesn't get in our way when we start drawing our curves. So I will draw one curve. It will follow this edge. Then I will make a duplicate of this one and play around until I have this edge. And I will create the curve with the control point curve, which lives under the spline curve. And I will start here at the bottom and simply draw a line like so. But I don't want to make tons of control points like this. Obviously, we want to have a clean curve. So I will start again here at the bottom. First click, second click, third click. Here at the outside, we can make a click. And here at the top, and the clicks I will do on this side will be exact at the same height as the ones I have done here at the first edge. So therefore, before I click here, I press Shift so I get a guide. Now the point I'm creating here is at the same height as this one. And I will do the same with this one. I mean, it's already on the x-axis. Click, and here, Shift, click, and here at the bottom, Shift and click and press enter. Now we have our first curve, and obviously we have to play around until we get the shape of the reference. So therefore, let's start selecting the control points, the relevant ones, and drag until we get the desired shape. Here, if you want to bring both of them out, press SX, so scale along the x-axis. Maybe bring them down. So you have to make your fine-tunings. That looks okay. Let's check these two at the bottom. SX. That looks okay. And now let's duplicate this one. Shift D. Okay, now we have the second curve. Lock the first one so it doesn't get in our way when we start deforming the second one. Again in control point mode. Let's drag these control points. Now I'm making a rough deforming. Then I will do the fine tuning. First of all, I want to get rid of the overlapping of the two curves. I know it looks ugly for now. And now we can start fine tuning. And here obviously we have to imagine the following of the shape, because this edge is underneath of this sheet. And for now, I will ignore this curvature here, these curvatures, these two here at the end. So let's check deactivating the first one. And we can snap one side of the curves to the other by pressing GY and press Ctrl. We can bring them also to the same height. It's not necessary, but I like it when stuff is symmetrical. If it is possible, here I can bring this one to this height, G, Y, press Ctrl, snap it to its opposite control point. And I want to avoid wobbliness so that this is here and the other curve is here, looks to the other side. So therefore I want the control points to overlap the curve they are presenting as much as it is possible here. I think that's okay. And now let's hide the reference image, deactivate it, bring back the first curve, unlock it. That's what we have so far. And let's bring back the reference image and see how we have to play with the Z position of the control points. First, I will hide the second curve. So this side, the right side of the first curve, has to be below the left side. Let's go to control point mode, select these control points, G, X, make something like this, maybe not that much. That's okay. Let's look from the left view or right view rather. Play around with this transition. And on this side as well, bring these up along the Z-axis, GZ. And let's see what we have. I think that looks okay. And let's do the same with the second curve. First of all, bring this guy down. And in control point mode, select these control points. Let's look from the right. G, Z, bring them up. This one as well. Again, let's check. And bring these guys down. I know it looks a little bit cluttered. I hope you get the idea. The second curve, which we have made out of the first one, is slightly smaller and below the first curve. Okay, now we are ready to loft, but before lofting, make sure that there aren't any weird intersections. Select both curves, press L for loft, hide the curves as well as the reference image so we can check whether our sheet is looking okay. Let's look again from the top view, show the reference image, and here we can't see anything of the reference image, so therefore I will select the reference image, unlock it, select it, M for getting these options. And if we select front here at the depth, we can see what we are doing. And if it is still too prominent, again, let's press M, lower the opacity to 0.2. Okay, that's better. Lock it. And now we can examine our sheet. If you are somehow not happy with the shape, you can always go back, delete this one, bring back the curves and play with the shape if you are not happy. If, for instance, if you think that this is too steep, can go back and play around with this part of your curve. Press OK and repeat the loft. You can always go back and forth. It's non-destructive. And again, let's hide the curves and examine our result. And we don't need the curves. Deactivate these main curves. But the curves itself has to be activated. So don't confuse this curve containing its content. Because now we will activate the image and create these shapes here at the bottom. And therefore I will simply press Shift A and create a line. And here I don't want to have any snappings going on. So I will deactivate object snapping. So the objects don't get in my way while I am creating the line, which I will use as a cutter. Make also sure that your lines don't intersect with these corners. They might cause trouble later on when we are filleting. So therefore make sure that there is always a slight gap. Don't make something like, let me show you, object snapping activated. Don't bring it to somewhere here because it might give you trouble later on when we are filleting. So there has to be some slight gaps. And now we are ready for the cutting of these parts. And I will select the sheet, Shift I, select the cutter, press OK. Let's hide the reference image. And now we can delete this stuff, Shift X. And we don't need the cutter. The last step is selecting the sheet, press F for thicken, and let's thicken this guy, make something like this. We can always go back. If it is too thick, we can always go back in face mode and make our adjustments here, but I will leave it for now as it is, the thickness. And first of all, I will show the edges and select these edges, these guys, in edge mode, but instead of selecting them one by one, I will hover over one of them and press Ctrl Alt so I can select all the relevant edges I wanted to select with one click and press BD for filleting them. And check whether the fillets have the same size, which they have. And now we can press OK. Select the top face. In face mode, press Ctrl 2 for switching this selection into an edge selection and BD. Give it a slight fillet, something like this. Don't overdo it because it is a ribbon, so it's a very thin solid. It is a solid, but it's very thin. It doesn't have this depth. And therefore I will go to face mode, select the bottom face, and without clicking anything else, with this offset face command activated, which it is by default when you select the face, push it in slightly. And if you press Ctrl 2 for converting this face selection into an edge selection, we can fillet the bottom edge as well. And that's it. And if we hide the edges, look from the top view, hide the overlays, that's what we have. And if we unlock the reference image, G, X, bring it to somewhere here. M, bump up the opacity to 1. Paste!